In 2003, a study by Jay Zagorski at Ohio State University tracked over 9,000 Americans for nearly 20 years. The finding was uncomfortable. Higher IQ scores showed almost no correlation with wealth accumulation. Intelligent people were just as likely to struggle financially as everyone else. In some cases, more likely. Not because intelligence doesn't matter, but because intelligence and financial intelligence are two completely different things, and almost nobody teaches the difference. Here's the first thing nobody tells smart people about money. Being good at something, genuinely, exceptionally good, creates a specific psychological blind spot. Psychologists call it the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse. High performers in one domain consistently overestimate their competence in unrelated domains. The better you are at your job, your career, your craft, the more your brain assumes that same capability transfers to financial decisions. It doesn't. A 2019 study published in Intelligence, a peer-reviewed journal, found that cognitive ability predicts income, but it does not predict net worth. Read that again. Smart people earn more. They do not keep more. Because earning money and managing money are governed by completely different psychological systems. Earning is driven by competence, discipline, and performance. Skills intelligent people have developed their entire lives. Managing money is driven by behavior, emotion, and identity. Skills almost no school, no university, and no employer ever teaches. So the smart person earns well, spends accordingly, justifies every decision intellectually, and wonders why the number in their account never seems to grow. The second trap is one that intelligent people are uniquely vulnerable to, because smart people are exceptional at justifying their decisions. This is called rationalization, and it is the enemy of wealth building disguised as logic. Here is how it works in practice. You get a raise, you upgrade your apartment, you tell yourself it's an investment in your quality of life, and you are not wrong. But the upgrade costs $800 more per month. The raise was $1,000. You buy a newer car. You calculate the depreciation, compare financing rates, and conclude it is a reasonable financial decision. The monthly payment is $650. You take the vacation. You've worked hard. You deserve it. You put it on a card you'll pay off next month. Each individual decision is justifiable. Each individual decision is reasonable. But the pattern, lifestyle inflating in perfect lockstep with every income increase, means your savings rate never moves. Economists call this hedonic adaptation. Your baseline standard of living continuously rises to absorb every financial gain. The result is that a person earning $150,000 a year can feel just as financially stressed as someone earning $50,000, and they often are. Here is a psychological trap that nobody wants to admit. A significant portion of what intelligent, high-earning people spend money on is not for themselves. It is for other people's perception of them. Research by economists Kerwin Kofi Charles, Eric Hurst, and Nikolai Rusanov found that visible consumption, the things people buy to signal status, correlates directly with income insecurity rather than income level. In other words, the more financially uncertain someone feels, the more they spend on things other people can see. Luxury cars, designer clothing, expensive restaurants, premium everything. Not because these things bring happiness, multiple studies confirm they do not beyond a very short hedonic spike, but because they signal something. They signal arrival, competence, success. For intelligent people who have built their identity around achievement, around being seen as capable, the pressure to signal that success financially is immense, and it is expensive. The tragedy is this: the people most likely to judge you for what you drive or where you live are people doing the exact same thing, spending money they don't have to impress people they don't know. The fourth reason is the one that goes deepest, and it is the one that is almost never discussed. Financial psychologists, Brad Klontz and Ted Klontz specifically, whose research has been published in multiple peer-reviewed journals, identified what they call money scripts. Money scripts are unconscious beliefs about money formed in childhood, typically before the age of 10, that drive adult financial behavior without the person's awareness. They fall into four categories. Money avoidance, the belief that money is bad, corrupting, or shameful, common in households where financial struggle was normalized or where wealth was associated with greed. Money worship, the belief that more money will solve every problem, common in households where financial stress dominated family dynamics. Money status, tying self-worth directly to net worth, common in households where achievement and financial success were conflated. And money vigilance, excessive anxiety and secrecy around finances, common in households where money was never discussed. The critical finding from Clance's research is this: these scripts operate below conscious awareness. A person can intellectually understand sound financial principles, budgeting, investing, compound interest, and still sabotage their own finances because an unconscious script is running a completely different program. Intelligence does not override a money script. Awareness does. So what does breaking the pattern actually look like? Three things: documented, specific, not motivational advice. First, measure your savings rate. Not your income, not your investments, your savings rate, the percentage of what you earn that you keep every single month. Research consistently shows that savings rate, not income level, is the single strongest predictor of long-term wealth accumulation. A person earning $60,000 and saving 20% will statistically outperform a person earning $150,000 and saving 3%. Write down your actual savings rate right now. Not a goal, the real number. Second, identify your money script, not as a therapy exercise, as a diagnostic tool. Ask yourself, what did money mean in the house you grew up in? What was never said about it? What was always said about it? The script running your financial behavior is almost certainly rooted in the answer to those questions. Third, automate the behavior before the brain can rationalize around it. Direct a fixed percentage of every paycheck to savings or investment before it enters your spending account. Behavioral economists call this pre-commitment. It removes the decision from the domain of willpower, where intelligence can be used to justify avoidance, and makes it structural. You can't justify your way around the system that doesn't ask your opinion. Here is the uncomfortable conclusion. The reason smart people stay broke is not a lack of information. Every intelligent person reading about money has access to the same principles. Spend less than you earn, invest the difference, start early, stay consistent. They know this. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is that financial behavior is not governed by the intelligent part of the brain. It is governed by identity, by emotion, by unconscious scripts formed decades before the first paycheck arrived. And until those underlying drivers are understood, genuinely understood, not intellectually acknowledged, no amount of financial knowledge will change the outcome.